Innovation. The single reason why when we're ready to leave our home, we get into a car instead of on top of a horse. The single reason why we don't need to be at home using a giant computer to be on the internet. We can now be anywhere using something as thin as this, a MacBook. Innovation. The single reason why the camera of a camera is now worse than the camera on our phones. Innovation drives everything, and it's the reason why if you look at almost every 5-year gap in history, there are distinct differences in how we go about our day-to-day lives. Innovation changes that. But are we still innovating? I think we are, but let's talk about it. One of my favorite filmmakers of all time is Casey Neistat. He made a video called iPod's Dirty Secret. In that video, he talked about all of the things that Apple was essentially doing wrong with the very first iPod and a battery issue that they had. Casey talked about how the batteries on the iPod would eventually die and there was no replacement plan from Apple to fix this problem.
I have an iPod that I bought about 18 months ago and the battery is dead on it. I was wondering what I should do.
But the battery's dead on the iPod?
That's correct.
The only way you...
charge for longer than an hour.
Okay. If the battery, how long is it? How old is it?
About 18 months old.
18 months? Okay, it's past its year, which basically means for, there'll be a charge of $255 plus a mailing fee to send it to us to refurb it, to correct it. But at that price, you might as well go get a new one.
Although Apple doesn't have a battery issue that I think we need to talk about today, I think there's something else that we should look at. This right here is Apple's original iPhone, the greatest iPhone ever made. This right here is the iPhone 4, the greatest iPhone ever made. Right here, I have for you the iPhone 6, the greatest iPhone ever made.
These are the best phones ever made. It is the most beautiful product we have ever made. 5S is the most forward-thinking phone we've ever created. These new iPhones, the most incredible iPhones we've ever made.
Do you see the problem that lies there? Instead of trying to innovate, with every Apple keynote, we find Apple telling us that the iPhone is the greatest iPhone ever made. Instead of telling us the great features that are going to be delivered to us, Apple instead wants to tell us this is the greatest iPhone that we have ever made. As long as you add on the exact same features that the last iPhone had, and you add one specific thing, whether it's a slightly improved camera, a slightly improved battery life, a slightly improved display, yes, that in fact will be the greatest iPhone that they have ever made because it has all of the features of a previous iPhone and it's just a little better. Now this is where it gets interesting. Let's ask ourselves, should we be trying to make the greatest iPhone ever made, or should Apple be trying to make the greatest phone that they can make? Let's discuss. Now the thing that I don't want you guys to think is that this is just a video completely centered on bashing Apple, because it's not. I'm actually one of the biggest Apple fanboys you'll ever meet. I'm gonna edit this video later on my MacBook using iMovie software and probably make some phone calls later on my iPhone 6. I mean, that's how I work. I use mainly Apple products. I would like to think of this video as more of a public service announcement and more of a wake-up call. Let's really take a look at today's keynote and what Apple brought to us. Apple brought to us a phone that is water resistant and dust resistant, something that's been seen on phones for quite some time now. They brought to us a phone with a better display. We've seen better displays everywhere. Apple has brought to us a phone with a better camera, something that we have also kind of seen with other phones. Where is the innovation here? Where the innovation lies is actually Apple taking away the headphone jack. Apple says the user experience is at the forefront of every change and everything they do.
You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it. And I've made this mistake probably more than anybody else in this room. It started with what incredible benefits can we give to the customer? Where can we take the customer? Not starting with, let's sit down with the engineers and figure out what awesome technology we have, and then how are we going to market that.
But at the end of the day, all Apple really presented to us were wireless headphones. Wireless headphones have been around for quite some time as well. When Apple takes away the headphone jack, and I'm not going to sit here and say taking away the headphone jack was the wrong move, because in 10 years I might watch this video and say Apple was at the forefront of a revolution, they knew what they were doing, and taking away a headphone jack was a great move. I'm hoping that's what happens. But as of right now and where we stand in current society, taking away the headphone jack only really limits the user experience. A lot of you guys are going to disagree with me in the comments, and feel free to disagree. That's fine. This is a discussion channel where we discuss. It's not just my one opinion and that's the end all be all. I want to hear your opinions, and I want us to talk about this together and come to a reasonable conclusion. So something that is very common for me is to get into my car, plug up my phone to the aux cord, and I have a charger that is in the lighter area of my car waiting to be plugged into the lightning port. When I step into my car, I use both of these connectors. I use this to charge and this to play my music. When Apple takes away the headphone jack, I will no longer be able to do something that is natural right now in my everyday life. In 10 years, when the standard is always to have Bluetooth capabilities in like every car that's on the road, this won't be a problem. But right now, our reality is that most cars are not equipped. A lot of cars are equipped with Bluetooth. My car has Bluetooth to make phone calls. It just doesn't have Bluetooth to listen to music yet. Now I'm gonna have the people in the comments say, Dustin, stop whining, go buy a Bluetooth adapter from Best Buy. That's fine, I understand I can go buy a Bluetooth adapter, but you really want me to go out and buy a brand new phone and then go out and buy another adapter just so I can do something that I can already do right now for free on my current phone? And what would buying this new phone even get me? Improved specs, an improved camera, and improved display? This is the iPhone 6.
These are the best phones ever made.
As of today, this is still a heck of a phone. And I am not one to go against upgrading because I love upgrading this thing as much as I humanly possibly can. Between the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 6, I did every single upgrade. And then the 6S came out and I was like, it's okay. It has 4K shooting, which I would love to do because I'm a YouTuber and I want 4K footage. But I'll wait. I think the iPhone 7 has a main number line, you know, 5, 6, 7, a main number, not an S series, as a main number is going to have enough upgrades to convince me to move from my iPhone 6 to my iPhone 7. Apple did not do that with me today. Apple improved the battery by about an hour. Apple improved the camera a little bit. Apple improved speed a lot of it. They always improve speed. Apple improved graphics a lot. That's expected. They should. But Apple didn't improve anything or revolutionize anything to make me go out and buy the iPhone 7. With each number, Apple usually does something big. Think about it. The last number, they introduced a bigger phone. That was a big deal. That was revolutionary for the iPhone line. If you showed me the upgrades that Apple presented to us today, but didn't tell me what iPhone it was, I would have told you that this iPhone was a part of the S lineup, which is the off year. This phone should not be called the iPhone 7. Call this phone the iPhone 6SS. The iPhone 6 SS, whatever you want to call it, just add on an S, because that's all this was. This was not a full upgrade in my opinion. A lot of you guys are going to be pissed off in my comments saying, Dustin, what do you want Apple to do? I don't know what I want them to do. And I can honestly say, every time they ever made an upgrade that really wowed me and wowed the general public, I had no clue what I wanted them to do back then either. You know what? Apple figured it out and they did something revolutionary. A lot of you guys are gonna go out and line up for the iPhone 7. The only thing I ask when you go out and buy this phone, ask yourself if you're lining up because you believe in the hype or if you're lining up because you think this phone will truly enrich your life in a new way, in a way that your current iPhone cannot do. By going out and buying this phone, you are supporting mediocre upgrades by Apple. You are supporting upgrades that you honestly probably don't need. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. Go out and buy it. But by you going out and supporting these minor upgrades that Apple is trying to present to us as an amazing new piece of technology, why would Apple ever feel the need to innovate beyond that when they know that these innovations are still going to lead to all of you going out and buying this phone? They will know that we are okay with mediocrity, we are okay with mediocre updates, and these are the only kinds of updates that they need to do on a yearly basis to get us to continue buying their phones. Stop this. Create a revolution. Create change. We can send a message to Apple that we are not okay with mediocre updates and we want more. If they want to take our money, they need to deliver a better phone. If you're ready to send that message, stand tall and ask yourself why you're about to go buy the iPhone 7 if you're going to be some of the few to go line up in a few weeks. That's my message. Thanks for watching. If you agreed with some of the things that I said in this video, go ahead and leave a big like on this video. Leave some comments down below so we can continue this discussion about what Apple is doing. It's kind of crazy. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I love all of my players and I will love you too. Have a beautiful day, guys. I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Let's keep playing.